Hello, everybody. It is 10:31. I am technically 1 minute late. Hello. Thank you very much for everybody who is with us in chat. Been having a few sort of little technical problems, but I think they are all sorted now. It is, as I say, just after 10:30 on a Saturday night, and it is time for Untold Chronicles Ionia. And if everything is working, that is a miracle. Beautiful. So I tend to speed through all of these things, but with only an hour and a half to run the game, I don't like to mess about with all the various things that we could fill it with, talking about sponsors and everything else. But let us say hello and welcome to everybody in chat. Thank you very much for hanging out. And don't forget, you can affect the game with your Twitch subscriptions and your donations. You can support the stream and give your favourite characters or GM advantage through heroic action points, or HAP as we shorten it for. Each sub gets a monthly HAP to give away as one when they sub or resub. You can also get them for donations as well as retweets and follows. You can find out all the information on the Untold Chronicles channel in Discord. And talking about our Discord, I don't often advertise it, but we've got a fantastic community and you can find out more about the games we run. You can hang out there. We've got all sorts of different community bits and pieces there. You can vent about your work, and it's a supportive group of like-minded people. So please come and join us if you want.
You can find out how to brew your own wine as well now.
Yeah, absolutely. We've just created a little corner for people who craft, and home brewing is one of those things. Um, I'm sure that we'll have all sorts of different channels for various different crafts as we go along. We blend it to whatever the community wants. So you want to talk about a particular subject, we'll give you the space to do it in a safe environment. Um, so Discord, it's just popped up the link in there. You click on that, you go and do it. It's free, it's fun, it's a place to hang out, safe and secure. Um, Next people want to say thank you is obviously all you, the viewers. Thank you very much for supporting us, whether you are here now live or whether you are watching on YouTube or the video on demand. I really appreciate it. It's a very interesting dynamic for me as a GM because it adds a different layer. Not only am I trying to entertain the players and challenge the players, I'm also thinking about you, the viewers, as well. And it keeps me on my toes, and I really appreciate all the support that you give us in ensuring that these games can continue. Um, we are eternally thankful to Hero Forge. Many of the character images are designed using Hero Forge, a wonderful way to create your own custom miniatures, get them 3D printed. You can find them at www.heroforge.com. Please note that anything mentioned on the stream may not represent the view or beliefs of Hero Forge, a Sky Castle Studios LLC product. We say this every stream. Hey there, Charlie. Thanks for jumping in. Good evening to you. Um, but it's a super cool site. They've been very generous in allowing us to use their images, so we thank them every stream. Uh, but it is unbelievably cool. You can go there and you can create these custom images. It's very good for inspiration for characters as well. Some people create their characters there first to inspire them about how they're going to design their characters for D&D. So it's well worth checking out. Last but not least, we want to thank our players, without which we wouldn't have a game and none of us would be here. So thank you, players. Really appreciate you. I'm going to let you do your own shout outs. So we'll go from left to right. Feel free to introduce yourselves and plug anything that you need to plug at the moment. So Velez, welcome.
Hello, I am Doug, Doug Force on the Discord server, and I will be playing Velez, the definitely not undead paladin who has discovered a sense of humour.
Very cool. Thanks for joining us. Then we go to Gail.
Hi there, I'm Pete. I'll be playing Gale. She's a strange one. She only seems to have been around a little while and it's confusing her. Hopefully
Yeah,
we'll find out more.
it's a very interesting character as I kind of know your story. Did you want to plug your stream at all? Are you still doing summer hack?
I'm busy rearranging my computing into a study, which currently doesn't have very good Wi-Fi. When I fixed it all up, I might do a few more NetHack streams, as it is June, and the June NetHack tournament is running, which is basically an ASCII art version of Dungeons and Dragons First Edition.
Yeah,
One of the most complicated and hardest games anybody's ever played.
Yeah, you've intrigued me by it. I've done a little bit of research, kind of checking it out. I haven't actually played it, but checked it out, and I'm intrigued and fascinated. And I think once I've got a little bit of time, as I joke and kid myself, I think I'm going to find it really, really fun to sort of get involved in that. So thank you very much for that. And then we move across to Lucius.
Greetings all, Kedro here. I'll be voicing Lucius Aurelius Ventanus this season. And I'd like to give a wonderful shout out to our DM, who's doing such a fantastic job running these games. Thanks, Andy.
That's okay.
Ooh.
Appreciate that. Please have GM's inspiration.
What?
Yeah, and anybody else that says that now, well, you're just copying, and I'm going to give you a disadvantage. You can't just copy that beautiful statement there. Firaz, I've set you
Well,
up.
I would just like to say that I really appreciate all the hard work. Oh wait, no.
Do, do, do.
Oh, yes, I am Stuart on the Discord, or Brook729 in chat.
And
Tonight I'm playing Firos.
and you are an amazing human being that have helped our moderations here on Twitch and in Discord, and an endless source of inspiration.
Andy, if I could give you players' inspiration, I would.
Thank you very much. No, I mean it. You are incredibly generous with your time and very supportive of everything we do, and we really appreciate it. Oriana.
I'm not sure how I can follow that much love
All,
in one
it is.
in one conversation.
It's all the love going on tonight. I'm emotional at the moment. Thank you very much for the gift sub as well, Paranoid. Thank you very much. Sorry, Oriana, I interrupted you. Very rude.
No, that's all cool. I was just I'm Sarah. I'm playing Arania tonight, and I'm Yig in the Discord. And definitely, you should check out the other streams because they are also awesome.
Yeah, good fun. We have fun here, or try to have fun anyway. And then last but not least, we have Bilius.
Evening all, I'm Andy Douth in the Discord and on chat, and I'm playing Bilius Brasty, the Satyr Rogue, which should be fun. And I was desperately trying to think of something to add to all the love that's going on, but I think everyone said it.
Ah dear, I see. That's okay. We love your character, and we love you. Okay, it feels like forever since we last entered the world of Ionia. But it was only 2 weeks ago. Our protagonists finally came together and they explored the tomb of an individual that basically was not a very nice person who had stolen from people. And one of the items they've stolen is a codices. And it was important specifically to Oriana and the Temple of Hecate to go and retrieve this codex of Enarxy, because strange things are happening. The prime gods of Ionia, which are known to be fickle and potentially walk amongst mortals in this realm, have gone missing, and slowly but surely replacing them are some of the younger gods, some of the gods that perhaps have very much their own interests in mind. And at the moment, the priests of all the temples are doing a fine job of persuading the populace that all is not lost and their gods are still around. But the truth is, they are not. And soon, without the gods of Ionia, the realm will fall into true chaos. Oriana's god Hecate, though, is still there and strong, and it seems that the Church of Hecate is going to be one of the few that seek to keep the peace and the order of everything that is going on. To reflect the disappearance of these gods, the constellations themselves are blinking out, stars are going black. It is dark times, dark prophecies are abound, and hopefully our protagonists here are on the path of putting things to right. You were successful in the retrieval of the Codex, the scrolls of Enarxy, stolen by a worshipper of Eris, the goddess of mischief. You successfully have made your way back to the temple of Hecate. It was a long 2-3 day journey, and as you arrive back, moving towards the temple district, you can see that there are lots of people on the street in the temple area. Not quite riots as yet, but certainly signs of disorder. People sort of chanting at different temples, demanding to know of the priests what is going on. You begin to move through this crowd. How do you want to? Well, certainly first, where are your destinations? Where are you headed to? I am taking an assumption you're heading to the Church of Hecate, but that might be not quite right now you've seen all of these people on the street. So I'll pass it across to you. With all of this chaos in the streets, what are your intentions?
I think Firos would follow wherever Orania wants to go. No pressure.
Gale will say to Bilius, is it always like this here?
Well, no, that depends entirely on. It's not festival time, is it? I feel like it should be festival time, but these don't look very festive crowds.
As you say that, it's almost like you predict something. An individual from amongst the crowd picks up a stone and throws it at one of the temples, hitting one of the temple priests. And that is a spark, an ember, as others begin to take that as a sign. It is not the temple of Hecate they are attacking, but it is indeed the temple of Hades. This perhaps does not sit well with you, Velez, but it is up to you how you want to react.
As if he's, I assume I see it clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Velez will literally just take out his flail, lift his shield, and you will stop, and I will shout it as loud as I can.
Okay.
Much menace into it as possible.
Sounds very much
Andy?
like. Yep.
Could I support Velez by using some thaumaturgy to kind of create some additional shadows and kind of join him in sort of saying, how dare you strike a priest?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It seems to be totally appropriate. So with that, Velez, you can do an intimidation roll. You are got advantage because of Oriana and because of the thaumaturgy and everything else. We'll say that the DC has lowered somewhat as well. So
Right.
Give us a roll. Oh, that is good. That is a sweet 18, knocking up to 21. And obviously, we're playing Untold Chronicles here. Sometimes it's easy to forget. We've got some house brew rules that you can critically succeed on skill checks as well as critically fail. The 21 is critical, and you face them down. And at first, someone picks up another stone and goes to throw it at you, and then the shadows around you, and it just drops, almost like a mic drop, and all of the others, and you hear this just clatter of stones as they begin to back up and shy away. And you see that you've had a very tangible effect, that individuals are now heading back home. It seems that... Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, as they back away, I will step forward and still, as loudly say, "You would all risk the afterlife for yourself. In a moment of rage, go back to your homes."
Okay. Yes, that is all that is needed with the intimidation and that speech. Not just the people that were attacking the Temple of Hades, but it seems to wash across like a tsunami the rest of the crowd, and everybody begins to return home as the streets calm down, for now anyway. Well done.
I'll turn to the others and just sort of tip my head to Arania and be like, "Well, I always hated cities."
This, I think, is probably the action of Strife. Strife is one of these upstarts who seeks to fill the void left by those who are missing. I see their hand in this. We've got back not a moment too soon.
Yeah, normally when people gather that loud and large in a street, it's a massive party. So this was a bit disappointing, really.
Yes, yes. I'll turn to the priest and check that they're actually okay.
Yeah, there are others, but the thing that you notice about this temple is that traditionally a priest would come across and administer healing magic, even Hades, to one of their own, absolutely. This time they're using a healer's kit. They are physically bandaging them up and not casting divine magic. It fundamentally just strikes you as odd. There is definitely something wrong here.
I will wander up to the priest that's being tended to and get down on one knee, and I will touch him on the shoulder, and I will use my healing hands and give him 3 hit points worth of healing.
Okay. It functions, it works, and as distant as it feels, your divine connection to not actually Hades, it feels different, but to the underworld itself. The power flows through you and the healing magic works, but you do recognize that Hades isn't the conduit of it this time. There is no conduit. You are tapping directly into the power of the underworld.
Yeah, you just hear a as he stands up and walks away.
The priest thanks you, and they catch their breath. They look worried. They looked shocked at this civil disorder. So,
This can't be the first time that, maybe it's the first time they've all gone walkabouts, but they go walkabouts before, right? This isn't sort of looking at Arania and Velos yeah?
Not like this, Bilios, no.
Not all at once.
Well, bugger. Probably means the party's off for tomorrow night, doesn't it?
I guess that depends what the scroll that we've brought back says, or how it helps us to understand what is going on.
So you're saying we deliver that scroll and then it's party time? Let's go get that scroll delivered.
I mean, close enough. Orania will go.
Of it.
Orania will go towards the Temple of Hecate, hoping that people will come with her.
Yeah, I mean, you head off. The rest of you, do you follow?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't take you long. There is this sort of area of temples, both large and small, in this small coastal city that you call home. You get to your temple, and your temple seems to be functioning as usual. Once again, you don't feel any loss from Hecate, almost as if she's still there, not gone missing. The high priest is there, along with a number of acolytes and a couple of priests as well. They welcome you in. Welcome back. We are very pleased to see you. This is just trying to get the name sorted for you, but my computer is having some kind of breakdown. Her name is Erasmi, which I'm trying to stick into chat for you. And she is the high priestess of this temple. Boom, 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 boom. She welcomes you in. Boom. There we go. That's her
Is it
name.
unusual for it to be her that does that?
It is. It is indeed. These are trying times, and I mean, from what you've just seen now, whilst it's unusual, it's probably to be expected with the civil disobedience on the streets. It kind of is and isn't, if you know what I mean. It's unusual that she's here normally, but the fact that everything else is going on means that perhaps she should be here.
Okay.
Were you successful, my child? She says.
Yes, we were, and Arania will kind of go into her bag and directly hand over the scrolls to them.
Okay. As she kind of almost absent-mindedly kind of looks, she seems to recognize Firoz and Bilius and Lucius, but you have two others. Your companions seem to be new.
Yes, we met them one night on the road. I deemed it to be a sign from Hecate that they would help us along our way, and they certainly have reasons to be here. Perhaps they would like to explain that to you themselves rather than me speak for them.
Please do. And she sort of goes to take the scroll off you. As she does, her fingers just touch it. Can you all give me perception rolls, please? Oh, look at this. Some good rolls there. Let's move this out of the way. Very good. So, Velez, Firoz, this is working out quite funny, Lucius and Bilius. Basically, anybody got 15 or more. There's something strange. You hear kind of a noise. It's the kind of a noise that only certain people can hear. It's kind of attuned kind of like dogs. Talking of dogs, you hear not just this noise, but the dogs begin to start barking in the streets and howling. The noise then, it's kind of almost like energy, static, power beginning to rise here. And then, almost intangible, a light that isn't a light, a displacement of matter. Something zooms into the temple, a ball of energy, power, and it slams straight into Erasmia's chest. You see, and you all see this now, as it sort of catches her off her feet a little bit. She lands, staggers back, and then she sort of coughs once or twice, looks up, and you see her eyes change, glowing with power. And then she explodes.
Oh,
The church, the temple, covered in what is left of her, and there isn't much left at all. The scroll begins to fall from her hand onto the floor. But the power is still there. The power moves across to one of the acolytes this time, slams them into the chest. Do you want to give me some initiatives, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we need to put Lucius into here. Sorry, Lucius, what did you get? 16. Okay, so unfortunately, this thing is beating the 19, and it's inside this acolyte. The acolyte staggers back, kind of looks up again. The eyes glow with power. Her mouth begins to open as if they are to say a word, and again, even more blood and viscera. That is whatever this effect is going on. Oriana, it is your go.
good luck.
Priority number 1, catch the scroll.
Yeah, I mean, this is
priority 2, pick up your jaw off the floor.
okay. So it's easy enough. The scroll now soaked into the blood of the High Priestess. It's not destroyed, but you have it. That is kind of item interaction, really.
How many other priestesses of Hecate are
There's
in the room?
2 priestesses, 3 if you include yourself, and 3 acolytes left now. The priestesses and the acolytes are just standing there open-mouthed, just like in shock. They have no idea what's going on at the moment.
Okay. And this thing looks like a ball of energy.
It kind of, yeah, it's difficult to really focus upon it. You can spend your turn trying to work it out if you want.
I think that would be my best bet, apart from telling everyone to get back.
Okay.
Just because I need to understand what it is to know whether we need to get away from it or try to stop it.
Yeah. So pitch me a skill. What are you trying to determine? You can, obviously, ideas, religion, arcana, just investigation or perception. insight,
Um,
history? Obviously, the information that you get, it will be based primarily on the skill that you use as well.
I think probably it would be Arcana rather than religion, because this is some external force. This isn't something that I think is an obvious religious not action, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. I think Arcana is a better thing, because this is obviously something very mystical, probably
Yeah.
magical.
I'm happy. You don't need to sell it to me. I'm happy with an Arcana, and it will give you certain type of information if you are successful.
No, not so
No,
much.
not a critical fail. You'd be pleased to know.
Phew.
But I mean, at the moment, maybe it's the shock. I mean, there are bits of the High Priestess kind of on your robes and all over you. But it's difficult to think in those quick 6 seconds exactly what's going on here. Anything else? You've done your action. You've done an item interaction. You've got a bonus action and a move. Anything else you would like to do?
Only sort of telling the acolytes to get out of the way probably would be her primary goal, to
Perfect.
get them away from it.
Then we move to Velez.
Okay, so just as a quick one before we start, I think, Andy, all of the damage and effects from last time are still on our characters.
That is okay. What I will do for you all, because you would have had a long rest, is I would add a long rest. I mean,
Sweet.
you know, to be honest, when I'm rolling 20d10, an extra sort of 9 points of damage on you is not going to be. I have cocked that up, by the way, and removed everybody's initiative. So fortunately, it is stored in here, so I can re-add it all in.
Well, my turn is really simple. So while you're doing it, I can say I will just sort of step forward to interpose myself between the rest of my party and this ball of energy.
Yeah.
Raise my shield, and I will hold an action to swing my flail at it if it tries to go towards any of my friends.
Okay, that sounds good. So Bilius, you are on 7. Velez is on 19. I think that is right. Oriana, Velez, and then we go to Lucius.
I'll go ahead and give that Arcana a shot myself.
Okay, give us an Arcana roll, please. Substantially better. Not quite a critical success, but close. You looking at it, you think that this is maybe some kind of possessing spirit, and the people it's tried to possess basically weren't powerful enough to contain it, or maybe akin to kind of when you have a sort of organ donation, the match isn't quite right, and the effects are obviously quite volatile.
All right.
So you
I
don't.
will.
I was going to say, you don't think this is like a spell effect that has been sent down to strike somebody down. It's much more akin to what I've just described.
Perfect. I will graciously step behind Velez
Yeah.
and say, it needs a vessel that matches it. Over here, little thing, over here. And I will duck behind him and make myself as small as possible.
Are you offering Velez up to it? It sounds very much like it.
Maybe just a little.
Okay. Bilius. Apologies with Fancy Grounds again. It is just all I don't know whether it's not my internet connection. I think it might be Fantasy Grounds. But Bilius,
Discord's been fine the whole time.
yeah, it is your go.
Cool. I will do something a lot less complicated and or brave as the others. I'm going to hide. I'm going to find a nice corner, maybe behind a statue, and make myself very small because this thing is blowing people up, and I only just got the dead people out of my fur. I don't want more dead people in me. Thank you.
There's a common theme. There's a common theme here. Okay, so yeah, give me a stealth roll. Let us see if you can hide from this thing.
Not great.
Not great.
Be worse.
How do you cinematically want to describe how that is not as good as it could be?
So definitely trying to get behind one of these like pillars, and I imagine there's braziers and stuff burning.
Yeah.
And just knock one of those over,
Okay.
and now there's like ashes mixing with the blood. It's not nice.
Okay, very good. Then we move to Gale.
Who is muted?
Gale's looking at this ball of energy, and she's kind of got her head tipped a little bit to the side in the same way as she did when she saw the cloak of stars on the creature in the tomb.
Mm-hmm.
She'd like to make some combination of religion and insight, which conveniently she has the same bonus for both of those skills.
Yep.
To try to see if this has got any meaning to her, whether this, because she's got no experience to draw on, just whether there's something innate about this presence.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, it will be. It will be exactly that. If you just roll an insight roll, basically, that will do us a 9. You kind of reach out, intrigued and kind of trying to understand it, and you actually don't feel any kind of kinship to it. This isn't the stuff that you made up from. This is different to you.
In which case, I'm going to stand next to. I'm going to stand next to Veles.
Okay. You stand next to Veles. Perfect. Then we move to Firos. Sorry, Gale. Sorry.
Perhaps do a bit of the patient defense.
Okay. Yeah. So you take the dodge action.
Yeah.
Ready to try and dive out of the way if this thing
I don't
tries
need to do anything else, do I? I can just take the dodge action.
Yeah, I mean, taking the dodge action saves you a key point mechanically speaking, but saying taking patient defense sounds so much cooler.
It is.
Firoz, you'll go.
Cool. Firoz is not wanting to be left out of this, and is going to try and form up a shield wall as well.
Okay.
By coming up and standing next to Veles on the other side. He's going to turn around towards Oriana and we need you to make some decisions here. What are we going to do? We follow what you say. And use rally.
Ooh, rally. What does that produce?
Some temporary hit points.
All right. It doesn't summon a children's bike from the 70s.
Unfortunately not. I imagine that would be fairly useful here to get out of here
For your
rapidly.
escape, yeah, that would be super cool. Wow, so that's an interesting effect. Very nice. I'm just trying to do the maths here. 20, that's 29 hit points. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, good luck when there's 20 to 10, but you know, it might help.
Oriana, before you act, this thing sort of again sort of swells up, now kind of sort of blood sort of swirling around, and there is a moment where time just seems to slow down again, Bilius, you are peering behind this pillar, and it seems to move towards you. You hold your breath, and then it sort of pulls back, and then there is the main group of all of you, and it just comes for you all. Oh dear. I was expecting you all to run. So, Firaz and Velez, this thing slams into you as you are heavily just trying to shield all this. And it's kind of strange. It's intangible, really. So there is one moment of resistance where it kind of hits the shield, and then it's almost like trying to stand against a wind, a typhoon, as you are kind of pushed back a little bit, and this thing just moves through you, and you see it slam Oriana straight in the chest.
Andy, does it trigger my flail swing at it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
You give me a flail swing. No, you just again, it's kind of trying to hit wind. You kind of strike something. There's a degree of resistance, and then nothing. And you kind of on your turn, you've got your shield up facing it. It kind of hits you, goes through. You kind of turn to swale it, and again, kind of almost in cinematic slow motion, you see this thing slam Oriana straight in the chest as Oriana put herself in front of the other priests and acolytes. Oriana, you are thrown off your feet.
Okay.
Oriana, you
Explode.
it's
Did
the
you have a backup character?
same as the high priest here. There is a strange feeling within you as your body is fighting to maybe survive or maybe connect, or nothing happens. Nothing happens. You're still breathing. You're still whole. Everybody else sees Oriana eyes flare up for a moment with power, and then shoom, go back to Oriana's normal eyes. Oriana, it is your turn.
What just happened? Is what she'll say. She'll kind of look around, look down at herself. Does she feel like back to normal? Does she feel weird?
You kind of feel back to normal. You kind of obviously touch your chest. It feels like you've been hit in the chest with a cannonball. It feels your ribs feel sore and broken, but they're not. They're not. It's just it's that feeling of taking a big punch to the solar plexus. You maybe feel somewhat nauseous, but beyond that, I mean, you're certainly not like the other two at the moment, but maybe it's just like a time bomb. Maybe any moment it's going to happen to you.
In the absence of any response from anyone in response to my question, I'm
We're a bit
going.
shocked.
Not the only one. She will. Well, she's prone, isn't she? 'Cause she got knocked off her feet, so she will
Yeah.
probably go into a kneeling position. Actually, not stand up fully, and get her focus into her hands and call upon Hecate for her protection, because she probably does feel like something bad is about to happen. And I think it's not just protection, it's understanding. She wants to understand what's happened and what's going to happen. So if we stand at a threshold between kind of the past and what's going to happen because of this thing, then that seems like something that Hecate could help her with.
Okay. So you think and you call upon this. You're not using a spell, so this is just going to be a religion roll, I guess.
Okay.
Again, you sort of focus and physical first as you kind of check yourself over, and you realize that you are in one piece, that there's certainly no permanent damage, just mainly bruising. Then your mind clicks to possession, and you can't feel anything. You feel the same. You're not under any compulsion. You checked yourself over, and then you have called out to Hecate for both protection and guidance. And if you were possessed, they would have stopped you doing that. You just don't know. Maybe it just went straight through you. Maybe it went through you and knocked you down and has gone now. Beyond that, nothing.
Okay.
And that, because it's resolved to nothing, means that you are all now out of initiative. So you can all basically act and role play or whatever you feel you want to do in this horrific scene.
Yeah. Andy, I'd like to use my divine sense and see if there is any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of me.
I believe that there is a little bit extra to that sentence.
Oh, is there? Well, I missed a bit. Hold on. Divine sense. It's not behind total cover.
Correct.
Okay.
So yes, you
Does a body count as total cover?
you send out your divine sense. It's a sensible thing to do. I certainly wasn't sort of mocking you, but it's important that you know the limitations of the effect, so that when I give you information, you don't go sort of two sessions down. But I divine sensed, and it's like, yeah, I know you did. But you don't pick anything else up, not within 60 feet, that falls into that category.
Cool.
I say you're all out of initiative now, so you can easily divine sense and do whatever else that you wish to do. The acolytes and the priests rush to Oriana and start checking to see whether you're okay and kind of fussing over you, really, having witnessed what has happened. Does anybody else?
Gale will kind of walk around just behind her, just looking to see around if there's anything else that is coming.
Firos
But
would
also
probably
if there's
join to
anywhere
see.
else, any signs behind her.
Okay,
of it
so
coming out of the back of her.
so you're kind of examining the back of Oriana. So yeah, give me perception rolls or investigation, either really.
Firos is looking around the room as well, trying to see if there's any sign of it.
Yeah. So Firoz, you're doing that. I mean, there's no sign in her back at all. There's no ripping of robes or cloak or anything else, Gale. And you can't see anything other than what is here about this blood splattered temple, basically, Firoz.
Bilius just pokes his head out from behind the pillar. Is it? Did you get it? You guys got it right?
I think Oriana caught it.
Right, cool, good. So, shall we be not where the blood is?
Maybe don't mention the blood at the moment.
I mean, it's literally everywhere. You got some in
Probably
your
not
mane, Firoz.
Oh, I
Look-
know.
It looks like an ear.
Firos
Yeah.
carefully removes whatever is in his mane.
So Lucius will wander over to Oriana and kind of shoo the acolytes out from in front of her and get really close in next to her face.
Okay.
Little different than what I was thinking. I expected that it was a shard of Hades, but perhaps Hecate herself. It would make sense as you are the voice. Perhaps you have the voice within you now.
Hecate's song. Oh, gosh, that really hurt my chest.
So, no singing.
Can we sit down somewhere for just a minute?
Oh yeah, yes. Let's do that, and I'll go through the group casting prestidigitation to clean off all the nasty from everyone.
It's actually an incredibly useful cantrip as you start cleaning everybody up with your arcane gestures. Absolutely. The acolytes double check again on you, and then they go about to administering final rites to the two that died and cleaning up the temple itself. There is a rectory, a place for reflection that you all go to, and you sit down. You are cleaned up by Lucius. A chance to reflect and to catch up on what has just happened.
Hey,
Firos will
Firos,
be
you were
looking
actually
like-
the blood-drenched athlete then?
Well, I didn't think of it that way, but just to check, you're not sober, are you?
I mean, I'm very nearly out of wine,
Well,
he says, squeezing the last of his wineskin into his mouth.
Firos doesn't mention the one that he's got hidden in his bag. How are you feeling there, Oriana?
Well, my chest really hurts for the first time in a long time. I wish I had some wine.
Firos walks over and hands the skin.
You had another skin?
Not the time.
Yes.
I think more than ever right now, it's imperative that we try to make sense of what this scroll can tell us of what is happening with everything that happened in the streets and now in the temple, and the fact that there is no longer a high priest of Hecate to help us. I think that we probably need to do this for ourselves.
What do we know about this scroll?
It is interesting. Supposedly, it is the ravings of madman. But within those ravings, there are truths and directions, but it is going to be difficult to decipher just the words of a madman from the words of truth. Give us religion or history rolls for those of you who see how much more you know about this codex, because it was supposed to be the high priest herself that was going to be able to guide you.
I don't feel Firos is talented enough in either to be beneficial.
So it's that's a perception roll for you. Sorry, I'm just waiting for Fancy Grounds to stop messing up. It's not Fancy Grounds, it's probably my computer. It's having a struggling time. It's worked very hard today, I have to say. It's just done 12 hours of roleplay. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, this supposedly in times of great portent, these words of NRC will guide the way forward. The light will be in the shadowest darkness. So at the time of most danger of everything going wrong, this will be the light, the guiding point through that darkness to bring the light back to the world again. But as I say, it is in effect the ravings of a madman, and is going to take time to not decipher. And in fact, you don't feel you have that time at the moment. The feelings that you have got, Oriana, is you will have to decipher it on the move.
Okay. Where to go? That's the question.
Indeed, it is where to go. And I mean, you can start having a look at the codex and see whether you can decipher any of them.
Is there any words we recognise on any locations?
I'll have a look at it and see if anything feels familiar. Maybe something, words or phrases, anything to do with, was it Red Wind or Red Tempest or something that they'd mentioned, or yeah, Bloodwind, to try to tie sort of sections of the codex to things that we know about that are happening at the moment. I mean, Ravings of a Madman, it could be entirely in a random order, but I've got to start somewhere.
Indeed, and I mean, this could be a lifetime's work and you could still get no closer. This is why you start getting the feeling that maybe it's just gut feelings. You're going to have to take a few chances here. And you open it up. Are you going to try and do this in a particular way?
Not in terms of where I open it. I guess this was held by followers of Eris, so they're very random. So let's pick a random page to start from.
Okay, give me a d20 roll.
As you start to look at this, Firoz will go to the door and make sure that we're not disturbed by anybody else.
Okay. So you open it up a page and you begin to sort of read, and it's mutterings, it's kind of words, and it kind of makes little sense out of context, but within context, you begin to understand this is something that perhaps you've known all along, perhaps all of you have known all along, but without the prime gods of Ionia, the world is going to descend into darkness and chaos. The gods must return. The gods must go to their places and do their jobs. It is going to be difficult to return them all, but it seems that this is what this codex is telling you your course of action. You need to find the gods and persuade them to return. An odyssey of sorts laid into your lap.
So I think Aurania will probably have read out passages to everyone from the book rather than just sitting and reading it, because I think that kind of vocalization of what's in the book will help to kind of to get a sense of what's going on. I think if we feel like we need to find them all, then I think Aurania's question to everyone is where or with which god do we start? And she has a feeling about that, but I'm sure other people do too.
So you are aware of the gods that technically, again, sorry, it's a good job we're not actually using the maps.
Get back in there.
There are a number of prime gods: Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Aphrodite, Apollo, Ares, Artemis, Athena. Then there is Demeter, Bacchus, Hephaestus, Hermes, and Hestia. Those are the prime ones, the ones that are being replaced by the young gods. And this Parthenon, this family of gods, interconnections of brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, this royal family of prime deities have all gone missing. And according to this codex, they are hiding in plain sight. They are amongst mortals, quite possibly here in Ionia, but maybe beyond the borders of Ionia itself.
Does the codex sort of? It's not like a directions thing. It's more of you need to find them, not like turn left at the first roundabout and there's Zeus sort of thing.
Yeah,
What's
no.
the roundabout?
Unfortunately,
When you go round and round really quickly.
Unfortunately, no. There are hints, there are subtleties, perhaps working out. But Bilius, it seems to be clear to you. Really, very clear to you.
First things first, guys.
I mean,
Olive branch.
yeah, I mean, that's not quite what I was saying.
Haven't you told a tale before, Bilius, where you said you went drinking with a god one time? Or were you making that up?
No, I met Dionysus. I can't get hangovers. It's great. Took him away.
Yeah, I mean, Dionysus, Bacchus.
At least one of them's got to be in a pub somewhere.
Well, there is an island, the place of Bacchanalia, a place known as Mykonos. That is undoubtedly, codex or no codex, where you will find Dionysus. A place of true hedonism, of revelry.
Might be a good place to start.
I mean, yeah, if they're hiding somewhere, they'll be there. Because if you're gonna lay low, obviously you're gonna lay low where the party's at.
I don't think you should try and lay low anytime. I don't think you do well.
Yeah, probably not.
I know this is probably not going to be a popular thing to say, but I might want to just remind everybody that we very recently visited a tomb. And, if the dead start to not be able to enter the afterlife because the doors are shut, are we not going to have a serious problem?
I mean, absolutely.
It does sound like a problem. But
I mean,
where would we find Hades? Fellas, any
It
ideas?
sounds like we could definitely do with finding a good party if that is going to happen.
See, Gale gets it. If we're going down, let's go down in the biggest revel that you have ever witnessed. I mean, if Dionysus of Bacchus is on Mykonos, it's gonna be lit.
I question if Gale is old enough to drink yet. But Veles, what were you saying?
Hades is not given to wandering much. I could be anywhere.
You don't reckon he's hiding in the underworld? Be a pain to get there.
It seems a strange place to hide. He resides there.
Fairly big, isn't it?
It is, by all accounts. Maybe we could interrogate the priests at his temple. They would know more than me.
I'm no expert on these things, but last time that we upset the priests of any church, we got in trouble. Oriana's still here. We should respect all the priests and priestesses.
Indeed.
I think perhaps now is a time to make it clear to the priest that we understand the situation. They no doubt have guarded the secret of knowing that the one that they follow is absent, and kept that to themselves. And now perhaps is the time to deal with that and seek their advice. In all honesty, they have just been attacked after all. They no doubt would like to see this resolved and things returned to the way that they were.
I think that sounds sensible.
There's not a chance that Hades might just be hiding in his temple? That would be really easy.
We should check them.
I mean, it's not a bad shout, actually, thinking about it. Even if I just said it myself.
Wow.
Hades is one of the three main gods. He has a temple, undoubtedly, on each of the islands of Ionia.
On second thoughts, that's a lot of temples.
We
Well,
could
we could
just
still
start with the one that's nearby.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be good to check that there are no more angry mobs.
I mean, you scared him off last time.
Yeah.
There's a few temples in this area, isn't there? We can ask around at a few places, see what they know about where their gods might hide.
Yes. Yes, that's probably worthwhile. It sounds like we have a plan, even if that plan has less wine in it than Bilius would like.
Oh, I
A
thought we were
lot
still going to be
less.
heading over to Mykonos.
Oh,
Eventually.
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
If we could.
Sorry, Bilius.
No, it's just that. If we could do that before I sober up, that'd be great.
Biros picks up the wineskin that he has and throws it over to Bilios.
Excellent. Right, onwards and templewards.
So, Temple of Hades first. Is that your plan?
It's
Yes.
Serenia's plan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you walk across the square, as it were, really, and there are many beautiful statues of the gods, and you arrive within minutes at the Temple of Hades, made of a much darker stone. Most of the temples here are made of sort of white granite, beautiful clean colours. The Temple of Hades, still beautiful granite, but it is black with small slivers of quartz in that glistens in the sun. You are met by one of the skull-masked priests of Hades, clad in black. He kind of nods. Our thanks for the help earlier. Please come in.
Thank you. I'll follow him in.
This is like a hallowed hall. It's like walking into a crypt or a funeral organizers. There is a silence here, a degree of reverence. It's not oppressive. In many ways, it's kind of peaceful. You are led along to a place once again, refectory, to sit and talk. He sits down and says, "How may I be of assistance to you all?"
Is there anyone else around within earshot other than this priest?
Not at the moment. If you want him to bring others, he can do that. But at the moment, no, you're all alone.
I'll look at the others and see if they're looking at me to try and explain this or not. I'm guessing.
Gail's looking quite sort of a little bit lost in herself. Full of thoughts.
Firos would be looking between Orania and Veles.
Ilias just grins and takes a swig of wine.
I think Veles would probably not have sat down and be pacing back and forth. And he'll turn to the priest and say, let us not use flowery words or lengthy sentences. He is silent, yes.
He sighs. Priests of Hades do not use flowery words. You are right, though. He has gone. He has deserted us. Our connection wanes. Some of our brothers still can feel the connection to the underworld. Others begin to call upon a different name, a name of Tenebrous.
Usurpers. I would have thought I would have no need of counseling you in faith, priest. All we know is that he does not answer. We do not know that he has abandoned us.
It does not bode well.
On that we agree. We think there is a chance that they are walking among us. You are more versed in lore and history of our Lord than me. Where do you think he may hide?
It is difficult to say. Our Lord is dour, does not like revelry. Kind of directly looks at Bilius.
I just grin back.
But there are tales. There are tales there is a name, a consort of sorts. Persephone. If you can find her, maybe he comes to court her still. I will put her name into chat for you.
This consort. Do you have any idea where they may be?
She is a noble of one of the further isles. If he has decided to return and court her, then that is where he will be. The only other thing that maybe he has a passion for the three-headed dog. He might be seeking one of those out.
Do you know where they reside?
Darker places. They find themselves to be guardians of various treasures. They are not unique, but if you seek lost treasures, you might come across one. If you could tame one, maybe you can use it to draw Hades back out to reveal himself.
This is excellent. Thank you, priest. I appreciate your.
We all succeed if Hades returns to his throne.
Indeed.
Be warned. Be warned. This upstart cannot hold back the dead. They will cross the Styx and they will return to the living. It is only a matter of time.
It's a child wearing their parents' clothes and pretending to be a grown-up. I have a warning as well, priest, and you may pass it on to any of our brothers who whisper that usurper's name. When I am done looking for our Lord, I will be coming for them.
It is good to know with such a warning that will undoubtedly deter many. My thanks.
I'll just nod and look at the others. Shall we?
Yes. Absolutely.
So we've got a choice of a very large dog or going to some royal court. I know which one I'm in favour of.
I always knew you liked dogs.
Is there a temple to Zeus here?
There is indeed. Sorry, were you asking the other
Indeed.
players? Yeah, sorry, I'll let
Yeah,
them answer
there
for
is.
you.
That creature in the tomb.
Hmm.
It mentioned that I'm something to do with Zeus. And Zeus is missing too.
Would you like to go to the Temple of Zeus and see if we can get some answers?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's go then.
Very
Okay.
kind. Thank you.
So you head out, and It's not difficult to find. It's just across the way. This is one of the bigger temples, if not the biggest temple, and it is resplendent in marble and granite, beautiful and white. A huge statue to Zeus, king of the gods, ruler of Mount Olympus, god of the sky, weather, thunder, lightning, law, order, and justice. Although those that truly know Zeus is that he could well be described as a hypocrite. There is a large figure, a large statue of a mature man with a sturdy figure and a beard. He has a scepter in one hand and a lightning bolt in the other. As you approach the temple, like Hades really, you are welcomed in to his court. Greetings, one and all. How may I assist you?
Well, I don't really know. Is there anything familiar about me?
He pauses, looks at your nature. He begins to walk round you, muttering to himself, looking you up and down. Can it be?
She'll look
What
at it
be?
with a slight challenge.
Can it be? What does this mean?
That's what I need to know.
You do not know of your own nature?
Your master has been missing for, and I think it's about 8 days since Gale appeared now. Your master has been missing for about 8 days.
He's not missing. You don't even need to make insight rolls. He is blatantly lying.
Is there anyone around, as in within earshot?
Not overly. Again, you've been taken into a sort of private chamber.
Okay.
I only have memories of 8 days. And I was staring to his eyes.
He kind of locks eyes with you, but then immediately sort of looks away, kind of in fear. Your nature, you are nothing but a dream, a wisp, a memory, a nightmare, a lost thought of the king of the gods.
Well, that's different.
There
What's
is
happening, priest?
nothing is happening. This is all part of the great plan. Zeus knows what he is doing. It is all part of his great plan. There is nothing to worry about. All will be well. Nothing to worry about at all.
I shall make the cloak of stars.
Uh-huh.
What is happening, priest?
As I say, there is a spark of divinity within you. This will manifest in different ways. But at any point, he may choose to have his thought back.
We want to find him.
He is not lost. What is this that you
I
keep
don't
saying?
know where he is.
Well, perhaps you have been deserted by him then. Perhaps you are a bad thought that he did not want and he has discarded you.
All the more luck for me. For I would not be here if he hadn't.
No.
And it is a wonderful place. Where will I find him?
He will find you. He has a plan. All will be well. There is nothing to worry about.
I was never worrying.
Good.
Are you?
Why? Everything will be fine. Why would I need to worry? Everything is good. The people
You make
need
the
to.
sounds of a man who is trying to convince himself.
Just get out of my mind. Stop playing with me. I am a priest of Zeus. You have no right to come to my temple and to mock me so.
If you say I am of Zeus's thoughts, of his dreams, does that not give me the right?
Not if you are a discarded, lost thought.
When I find him, I shall be very, very, very pleased to let him know how much help you provided.
I know I am his most devoted. There is nothing to worry about. You tell him that I was not worried, that I trust him. You tell him that.
I shall.
I have not lost my faith.
That is most very clear. But we need to find him.
Well, as I say, if he wants to be found, you will find him.
This one knows nothing. Thank you.
Very insightful, Gale.
So is that
I
it?
could go on,
Have you
but
not got your
I
own
think
temple to go to? Witch of Hecate?
Oh, you deign to speak with me now, is that it?
What, you have come here to mock as well? Do you not have your own duties to take care of?
I absolutely do, and I absolutely am where I need to be right now. Unfortunately, I've been faced instead of with the resolution of what I need with a blustering fool who seems set to lie and obfuscate at every turn, and thereby prevent me from doing my job, which is to ensure that these lands in which we live are not utterly abandoned, bereft, and destroyed because of the absence that can be felt with anyone with even one eye.
You have no right to talk to me like that in my house.
then the world will burn.
I'm sure if Zeus was offended, he would come and strike me down right now, wouldn't he? I mean, he's here. That's what you're telling me. He's perfectly capable should he wish. It's not that he's absent.
I do not even attempt to second guess the thoughts and the powers and the wishes of my lord I await to obey his commands.
Well, his commands won't come. We have to second guess his thoughts and his presence.
I thought you said that Gale here was one of his thoughts. Is that not one of his commands giving you a command now?
This thing is nothing, something that has been discarded. Probably sent to tempt, deceive. Some kind of abomination or corruption.
Yeah, this one's a bit useless, isn't it? A bit broken, I think.
I think so too.
All will be well. Of course it
lost.
will.
He's lost.
Andy, does it look like he honestly believes that?
Yes. Well, you can give me insight rolls if you want. Yeah, he definitely believes it. That doesn't necessarily make him sane, though.
Alright, it'd be wrong to beat up a priest, wouldn't it?